Hi, I'm Emily from Life Sew Savory, and today I'm going to show you how to add a custom vinyl decal to your sewing projects. Last week we made these cute raglan shirts for kids, and today we're going to add some vinyl words to make them even cuter. To do that, I'm going to use this electronic scanning and cutting machine, which will scan and cut almost anything you want. I've printed these just off my computer, but you could also hand draw a design, and it would also be able to turn that into a vinyl decal. You can keep it super simple, like this one, or you can even add many layers to your vinyl projects, like this one over here, which is a little bit more complicated. So we're going to do a simple project today. I've printed off this text, and we're going to scan it in, and then we're going to turn it into vinyl that we can iron onto our shirts. So put it into the scanning mat, put it down, and then we're going to insert it into the machine. We want to scan. We want to scan it so that we can edit it a little bit, so we're going to scan to data, and then we just hit start. Now our design will show up onto the screen, and we can edit and get it ready to cut the vinyl from there. Okay, here's our design that we scanned into the machine, and now we want to outline that design so that the vinyl will cut the outline. Okay, so we just want to do a little quick check to make sure that it actually outlined all the areas that you wanted outlined, and then we're going to hit save. Now you can save it to a USB, your computer, but we're just going to save this to the machine because we're going to use it right here. Okay, so now we can get rid of this mat, and we can work with our design. So going back to the home page, now we're going to do the pattern that we're going to cut. Okay, and we have saved data on this machine, and we have this pattern that we made. So you can see right here we've got the scanned in picture or text, whatever you want. Now, the one most important tip to remember when you're doing iron-on vinyl is that your image is going to be in mirror of what it is when you cut it. And I have cut many times where I have ruined the design because I didn't cut it in mirror, and then the words are backwards. So on this one, it was cut in mirror, but when you turn it over, this is the way it's going to be ironed on, our words are actually going the right direction. So that's the one thing we want to do before we cut the vinyl. So we're going to select our design. We're going to select the whole thing right there, and then we're going to hit this little edit button, and down here is the button to mirror it. So we're going to mirror that whole design. Now you want to make sure that the whole design is selected when you mirror it. If each individual letter is selected, then just the letters are mirrored, not the actual whole graphic. And we want the whole graphic to be mirrored. All right, so now we're ready to cut. So let's prepare the vinyl on our cutting mat. Okay, this is just regular heat transfer vinyl. It's not flocked. This one is a puffy flocked vinyl, and we'll be able to see both. Just line up the corner, press your vinyl onto the mat. Then we're going to load it into the machine. And just do one final check to make sure that our design looks good, and hit OK. You can adjust the size however you want. I'm just going to leave it the same size that I scanned in, but you don't have to. You could enlarge it or make it smaller, all right here on the screen. I've already done a test cut with my blade to make sure that it's going to be what I want. So now we're just going to hit straight to cut. And then we have to push start. And our design will cut. While that one is cutting, let's take a look at how we can iron this one onto the shirt. The first thing that you want to do when you're using heat transfer vinyl is you want to warm up your fabric. So I'm just going to run the hot iron over the fabric to get it nice and warm. Then I'm going to place my transfer. place my transfer in the center of the shirt. And we're going to apply the hot iron. You want to make sure that you don't slide the iron when you're first applying the transfer, because that can cause the transfer to slide. So I usually just do a quick setting press on both parts of the transfer. And then I'm going to go back and give it one more good press to finalize it. You need about 20 seconds with pretty firm pressure in order to set your transfer design onto the t-shirt. Now you need to let that cool before you peel off the clear plastic. Let's go back to the design that we cut over here on the mat. We can now do the most fun part of vinyl cutting, which is picking out the vinyl to see our design revealed below. I'm just going to pull it off the mat to make it a little bit easier for me to see the design. So I'm going to try to catch the edge of one of the letters and pick the vinyl from there. Once I've got the vinyl released, then I can easily just pull off that excess around the lettering. I've done what's called a kiss cut, which is cutting through just the vinyl, not cutting through this plastic backing. We need that plastic backing to be able to iron it onto the t-shirt. It would be really fun to have your kids even draw their own designs, and you could just scan those pictures right into the machine and then cut those, and they could have a t-shirt that they actually created themselves. I, of course, just like to use text from the computer, but you really can scan in and cut anything that you want and that's printed on a piece of paper. So kids drawing, coloring, you're able to actually scan in color so that you could cut in color like this design over here as well. Okay, now we just have two little pieces we still need to pick out, and that's the center of the D. So you want to get really close to make sure you're catching just the edge of that part of the cutout and not actually poking onto the vinyl that you're going to apply to the shirt. All right, so now we have the mirror image, but when I turn it around like it will be ironed on, we have the text going the correct way. So let's take a look at this one that we ironed on already. Now that our fabric has cooled, we can peel this off and reveal the decal right on our shirt. This is the flocked vinyl, and now we can iron on the smooth vinyl. So we'll place our second shirt. Again, we're going to heat up that fabric. Get it nice and warm. And then we're going to place the vinyl right in the center. And iron it on. When you finish ironing, make sure you let it cool before you peel that plastic away so that your letters don't come up with the plastic. And that's just how easy it is to create custom vinyl t-shirts.